What's up everyone, and welcome to another Bitcoin market update. In these videos you can learn technical analysis so you can forecast potential price movements in your favorite cryptocurrencies and also see where we are currently buying and selling these cryptocurrencies ourselves. So let's start off here with Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. Bitcoin on the monthly time frame has had this appreciation in price ever since we set our low back here in September of 2020. You can see this month we have our monthly resistance here, which is up here at about 63.2. That's our R3 pivot using the pivot indicator here, which you can find on TradingView. If you don't know how to use that indicator, it's a very simple indicator that gives you these resistance or support levels based on an average of the previous price history from the previous period that it takes for whichever one you're looking at. If you'd like to check out our video on how to use the pivots indicator to your advantage, you can check that out. I think it's a really simple video on how to use this indicator. But you can see on the monthly time frame that we're having this increase in bear volume. If we don't go above the open of this candle, which is up here at about 58.905, we're going to end up closing this month with that increase in bear volume and most likely some sort of a bearish doji candle or a bearish spinning top, which is what we currently have right now. And then we'll look for our monthly high to potentially be set here, and we'll look to come down and form a monthly higher low somewhere below, or somewhere above our September low here. Let's go to the weekly time frame. So weekly time frame, there's a couple things to note here. One, we have our support level right here, which is from our trend right here. And whenever we're looking for support and resistance levels, as we always talk about on this channel, you're always looking for the trend to be established. This is either a bullish trend or a bearish trend. A bullish trend is going to be establishing a support level, and a bearish trend is going to be establishing a resistance level, potentially. So that's what we're seeing right here with our low, high, higher low, and then higher high right here. This level where people were selling their Bitcoin, if we come back to this level at some point, this is going to be where those people that sold back here are going to buy back their Bitcoin. So this should be acting as a support level for us if we do end up coming back to that level. Although we might not end up coming back to that level soon. I think eventually we probably will, but maybe not in the near term. And the reason for that is because of the price action that we're seeing right here. So if we look here on the volume, we can get an indication of what we're seeing in terms of selling volume on this drawdown in price. And so I like to use the volume indicator to give me an indication of when we're going to stop going either down or up. And so what we were seeing here was we were seeing a declining bull volume on this rise in price right here if we look at these two candles. And then the very next candle was a red selling candle. And so that wasn't very surprising. Then right here we have declining bear volume, so it's no surprise that the next candle after that might be a bullish candle with green volume. And that's what we're kind of seeing right now. So far we're just an inside bar on this weekly candle, which means our price action is contained within the previous weekly candle here. So if I'm trying to play the weekly time frame, one way I can play this is using the RSI. So if I'm looking to scout an entry to go long, to buy Bitcoin, one of the ways that we can do that is by looking at this divergence that we're seeing right now with our low and then lower low, but then this low right here is higher than this low right here. And so this is what, if we end up breaking this dark blue line right here, 56,649, this will end up being a valid weekly hidden bullish divergence, and that will potentially propel us to new all-time highs in the coming days and weeks. So the way that you can play that is as soon as this dark blue line gets breached, you open a long position with your stop loss below the previous weekly low right here, and then you're targeting wherever you're targeting. The weekly resistance level, the next one, is up here at about 80K, so that would be where the target would be. You can use your long position tool, pull it just like this, pretty much popped almost right to where we needed it to be. And then we can pull this up to our target, and you can see that that's roughly a 2 risk to reward, meaning that if the trade goes our way, we'll make roughly 2 times the amount of money than if the trade did not go our way and we got stopped out below this low. You can see the price is rising as we record this video. Let's go down to a lower term time frame and see what we're dealing with there. So on the daily time frame, yesterday we got declining bull volume, but you can see today we've subsequently negated that in terms of being bearish and us coming down and retreating down to this dark blue support zone. You can see that right now people are forced to close their short positions, and it's causing the price to rise rather significantly, at least for the time being. The resistance level that we're looking at, that the bulls are going to have to try and break through, is this gray zone right here. And so this gray zone is this black candle from back here, which I'm just going to move that for now. This is our trend that we had going right here. And so it's very simple to identify the trend. You're looking for a low, a high, a higher low, and then a higher high right here with 2 candle closes above this high. So this is a valid bull trend on the 2-day time frame. So then this black candle where people are selling, you can tell with the red volume, should be support on a retest of that, but it went right through that and closed both of these, really all 3 of these candles below this gray zone, meaning that when we come back to test this zone, this should be a strong resistance level for price. You can see it is currently running into this level now. And so we'll see how it reacts to that over the next, couple days. As this is a 2-day level, it may take some time for us to come into it and reject off of it. But you can see the price is having a rather quick, immediate drop off of it. If we zoom in, you can see we wicked into it, and now we kind of pushed down a little bit. But we'll see. It's probably going to take some of the bulls buying into it more and more for us to potentially come down. And if we don't, if we go right down from this level and we don't continue, if we go right through this level rather, that negates this as any sort of a zone, and then we look to scout entries above here. The support zone we have is this blue box right here, this dark blue box. This right here is our risk to reward ratio for this trade if we end up breaking down from here. You can see we had this pretty significant V-shaped recovery so far in price action, and that's really good. That's really good for the bulls case. That means that we'll probably have pretty good confidence that this rally can continue. Even if we reject off of this gray zone, what we might see is something like this, where we come up, we hit this level, we come down, we form a higher low, and then we come up from there. That's a little bit messy, but you can just think of it as we come up, we hit this gray level, we come down, we form a higher low above this one, and then we come up for a higher high for a confirmed bullish trend, and then that's when we can continue to go higher. But if this ends up hitting this level and rejecting off of it, that'll end up taking us potentially, if we break down, like actually down, that'll end up taking us down to roughly this previous all-time high level, because then we'll be retreating for a monthly pullback, because the monthly time frame closes in a couple days here. So we'll see what ends up happening on the monthly time frame. Either this level is going to hold or it's not going to hold. In terms of, and I know that doesn't provide much clarity, it's either going to hold or it's not going to hold. My vote is that it's holding. I have my money on the line that this is going to hold for the first test, but we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. Daily time frame, we'll see what the daily volume looks like in 3 hours and 50 minutes from here. If we continue the decline in bull volume, I would expect the next day to have bearish volume, and then we go down. If we do not, if we have increase in bull volume, we might see the next subsequent day rise even more into this gray level. 12-hour time frame. 12-hour time frame has this gray level, which yellow. So this yellow level, if we end up pushing right through this and closing 2 12-hour candles above this, which we might in the next 3 hours and 48 minutes close our first candle above it. We got close here with this one, but didn't quite close above it. And then these two did not close above it either. So we'll see what we end up getting in 3 hours and 50 minutes. But if we do, this will end up being a very strong support level that even if we do reject off this gray level, we'll at least have this level to support price for a potential higher low. On the lower term time frames, we have a nice bullish trend going on here on the 6 hour time frame. So the way we know that is by looking closely at the price action right here. So if we look, we set our low, then we came up, we formed a high, came down right here with the wick of this candle, formed a higher low, and then came up and closed 2 candles above this high. You can see we came down and tested this level initially on the second candle, but then the real test of it was right here. You can see we used just a easy rectangle to draw our support level here. Came down in this level, had a nice reaction off of it, and now we subsequently are going into this gray resistance level for the first time. So that's really good for the bulls in terms of, you know, the first step in going to a potentially new all-time high is they needed to first set that that bullish trend on the lower term time frames, and now they need to do that on the daily time frame. And so as long as the daily time frame comes down at some point and forms a higher low and then comes up and forms a higher high, we're in good position to continue this trend upwards from here. That's all I got for this one, guys. If you like this video, give it a like down below. If you're interested in getting involved in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, I encourage you to join our Telegram channel, where we have a ton of members from around the globe interested in cryptocurrency and blockchain that are there and learning together. So you don't have to go at it alone. I encourage you to join that channel down below. It's free. We're trying to really help people get a good education on cryptocurrency and blockchain technology and how they can really use that technology to improve their lives in many different ways. And you can find out a ton of information on that and become part of the community by joining the Telegram down below. Until next time, onward and upward, and don't forget to subscribe.